So many of the operations leaders I work with tell me the same thing. Renee, I've got to hire a maintenance manager, but I'm not technical. What if I ask the wrong questions? I get it. I've seen that look 1,000 times. Pumps, HVAC systems, predictive maintenance schedules feels like a foreign language. But here's the thing, you don't have to speak that language to make a phenomenal hire. I'm Renee Fry, and this is Building Your High-Performing Team, where we help you hire smarter, reduce turnover, drive business results so you can finally sleep at night. If you want proven strategies to hire better and build teams that last, hit subscribe. We drop new insights every week. In this video, I'm sharing the exact framework I use to help my clients confidently interview maintenance managers, even if you've never turned a wrench in your life. By the end, you'll know what to look for, what to ask, and how to spot the right leaders fast. I've recruited hundreds of maintenance leaders across manufacturing and distribution facilities. And let me tell you, the best hires aren't made because someone impressed a technical panel. They're made because people could lead people and solve problems. Your role as a hiring manager isn't to know every detail about electrical systems or PLCs. Your job is to evaluate judgment, leadership, and alignment with your operations priorities. A maintenance manager really wears 3 hats. The technical expert, they've got the hands-on know-how. The people leader, motivating, coaching, and developing. And the operational strategist, the one who sees the whole system. When I'm recruiting, I focus on hats 2 and 3 because that's what keeps retention high and downtime low. If they can lead people effectively and think strategically, your technical team will back them up every single time. After 23 years in recruiting, I can tell within 5 minutes whether a maintenance manager leader is going to thrive or burn out. And it always comes down to these 5 traits. The first trait is ownership. The best leaders own their results. If something goes wrong, they say, hey, here's what I could have done differently. When I call references, this shows up fast. They either take ownership or they deflect. Ownership builds trust and respect on the floor. The second trait is proactive thinking. I always ask myself, are they firefighting or are they future-proofing? Great maintenance managers prevent problems before they happen. They use data, track patterns, and protect uptime like a hawk. The third trait is communication skills. They're translators. They bridge the gap between technical experts and non-technical leaders. If they can't explain an issue clearly to you, they'll struggle to justify budgets or win buy-in later. The fourth trait is budget awareness. These leaders control significant spend, sometimes millions a year, and the right ones make cost decisions like an owner, balancing quality and efficiency instead of chasing the cheapest option. And the fifth is safety first mentality. This one is non-negotiable. I always say if safety's an afterthought in the interview, it'll be an afterthought on the job. True leaders weave safety into every decision because people follow where they feel safe. When I train hiring teams, I teach one framework that changes everything: the behavioral interview differentiator. It's how to ask situational questions so candidates provide concrete details about how they've handled real scenarios in the past. Studies show that past performance is the strongest indicator of how someone will behave in the future. So what does that look like in practice? Behavioral questions always start with, tell me about a time when. They pull candidates out of theory and generalities into reality and facts. To structure their answer, we ask them to use the STAR method: situation, task, action, and result. This framework keeps them accountable to the facts and gives you a clear window into their judgment, problem solving, and leadership style. It forces candidates to give real examples instead of buzzwords. Here's one I've used in real interviews. Tell me about a time you had to reduce maintenance costs without compromising safety. A weak answer sounds like, we just made some changes and it worked out. A strong star answer sounds like this. We were spending $500,000 a year on emergency repairs. I was tasked with reducing that by 15%. What I did was I built a preventative maintenance plan, standardized weekly inspections, and renegotiated vendor contracts. We cut costs by 18% and downtime by 22%. That's the kind of answer that separates the talkers from the doers. You don't need to be technical to recognize the impact. The data speaks for itself. And when I'm helping my clients interview maintenance managers, there are 7 questions I always include because they uncover leadership, judgment, and culture fit every single time. Here's the questions. Tell me about a time something went wrong. How did you handle it? Listen for responsibility and learning. Blamers never get better, learners always do. Describe a time you improved or implemented a preventative maintenance program. This question uncovers whether they think long-term or live in crisis mode. Tell me about a time you motivated a struggling team member. If they light up talking about helping someone grow, this is a sign of real leadership. Explain a technical issue to someone without a maintenance background. If they can teach it simply, they'll collaborate well across departments. When your budget was cut, how did you prioritize? Look for strategy and data, not complaints. Describe how you've reinforced safety on your team. A genuine answer will sound personal because real leaders feel responsible for their team's safety. Tell me about a time you had to adapt to a new technology or new process. The maintenance world changes constantly. You want curiosity, not resistance. And always ask a follow-up. What would you do differently next time? That's where you learn who's self-aware versus who's scripted. After thousands of interviews, I've learned to trust patterns. Let's talk about red flags first. They blame others. They stay vague when you ask for details. They never mention developing people. And if they're dismissive about safety, run for the hills. Now on to the green flags. They own mistakes. They share measurable results. They talk about promoting team members or mentoring. And they ask thoughtful questions about your facility and your culture. And one red flag isn't fatal, but patterns are. And when you spot 3 or 4 green flag, that's a hire worth moving fast on. When I'm recruiting for my clients, I can screen skills in an hour, but culture fit takes conversations. You can't measure it on a resume. So ask yourself, do they align with your values? Do they communicate in a way your team will respond to? Do they show respect for other departments? Culture fit is the difference between someone who meets KPIs and someone who transforms a team. One of my favorite tactics after the formal interview, take it off script, grab coffee, walk the floor, let them relax. That's when you see who they really are. When my clients tell me they're nervous interviewing technical roles, here's what I always say. Do your homework. Google the terms on their resume. ChatGPT the terms on their resume. You don't need to be fluent, just familiar. It shows respect and saves you from feeling lost. And set expectations up front at the beginning of the interview. Say I'm focusing on leadership and problem solving. That signals you're serious about fit, not jargon. And bring a technical partner for part of the interview. They can validate the hard skills while you evaluate leadership. That's the perfect combo. Ask them to teach you. If they can't explain something clearly, That's a preview of how they're going to communicate under pressure. And check references like a recruiter. Ask about team morale, safety, follow through. References never lie in tone. Listen to how they communicate about them. Watch communication cues. Do they interrupt, ramble, over-explain? Those behaviors are going to show up on the job. And finally, always trust your gut. You've led teams long enough to know when someone's genuine. If they give you confidence in the interview, they'll do the same for your crew. So here's the bottom line. You don't have to speak maintenance to hire a world-class maintenance manager. You just have to know what to listen for. Focus on leadership, communication, and ownership. Use the behavioral interview differentiator to cut through surface answers. And pay attention to patterns because consistency tells the truth. This is exactly how my clients make confident hiring decisions without ever second guessing their technical knowledge. If you found this helpful, hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I post weekly insights from the recruiter's seat to help you build your high-performing team. And tell me in the comments, what's the toughest role you've ever had to hire for? I'd love to hear what challenges you're seeing on the ground. Building your high-performing team starts with hiring smarter, reducing turnover, and driving results. If this resonated and you found it valuable, please share it with another hiring leader who's serious about building stronger teams. And if I can help you, that's what I'm here for. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. We drop fresh insights every week to help you hire smarter and lead stronger. And if you're ready to fill a critical role or strengthen your leadership pipeline, visit my website, talentq.net, where exceptional companies meet exceptional people. I'm Renee Fry, and this has been Building Your High-Performing Team from the recruiters who know your business. When your team is dialed in, that's when leadership feels effortless. Cheers for now, and I'll see you in the next one.